what's your favorite game genre? I mean, it's got to be RPGs, right?
For me, 100% RPGs. Did I play a lot of fighting games? Of course. I mean, I dabbled in everything, action, fighting games, all of it. But
I remember those days.
I'll
Street Fighter.
I'll sit back and I'll play an RPG, like old school one. I kind of like turn-based a lot, but action RPG of some sort of way. That's just, I like to be immersed in a game. That's why I hate when I get like something called an RPG and it's like 20 hours, 15 hours, you're done. There's not much else to do. I'm like, it's not even an RPG at that point.
Now, does it matter like RPG wise? Does it matter if it's sci-fi, fantasy? What's your favorite?
Fantasy. Not I mean, I'll play sci-fi. Don't get me wrong. I'll play some weird one, horror ones, all that kind of stuff. But like, I like dragons, monsters, magic, swords, shields. Mythical.
Right. So you're basically the same as me.
Yeah, that's my favorite shit.
RPGs,
fantasy RPGs. Listen, I'll do sci-fi too, if it's a good game.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm more drawn to, like Dungeons and Dragons type of atmosphere RPGs.
Yes.
That's probably where I would go. I mean, like Final Fantasy VII wasn't. I guess it's fantasy, but it's more like a mixture of fantasy, sci-fi. It's kind of a bunch.
Yeah, no, that ventures off a little differently, but it's still, that was one of the most amazing games ever.
Right. But definitely fantasy RPGs are probably my
like Dragon Quests, all those.
Well, what about strategy? I mean, would Starcraft would be considered strategy, right?
Yeah. What do they call that? Real-time strategy.
Real-time strategy.
Yeah. That's big. I love those. Oh,
yeah.
That's another great game. We were talking about modding before. Starcraft.
Did you ever play?
Lots of mods.
Speaking of Starcraft, did you ever play? Didn't they make a remastered of Warcraft 3?
Yes.
Warcraft 2?
3.
Did
Yeah.
you ever try it?
I mean, I played a little bit before it came out, and then there was a lot of drama when that came out. Talking about games that came out with bad. So there was a lot of problems with that. I played a little bit of it, but they made it so that when you create, like, people that would mod games, it all started, like, in Warcraft 3. Dota. Eventually came Dota 2. League of Legends was separate, but, like, Dota brought that out, and that was made in the Warcraft, in that engine. So when they brought this one out, it wiped out in your system the old stuff, and you could mod on the new stuff. But if you mod on the new stuff, you have to put the inquiry that you can't make money, you can't do this, you can't. So they totally like wiped out all the modding of using their shit, which I thought was kind of foul, but they're protecting their stuff or whatever. So that pissed a lot of people off, especially like, I can't even go back and play the old one now. Right. So unless you had like a way to download it with a CD yourself or whatever, that shit was gone. So it's like they destroyed the old shit for you.
The old Warcraft games, were those real-time strategy or were those RPG?
Real-time.
Yeah, real-time.
They were real-time strategy.
Like, Warcraft, like if you just say Warcraft, is the same as Starcraft.
Okay, that's what I thought. But World of Warcraft is more...
That's totally different.
That's RPG.
That's RPG.
Yeah.
So they changed it over from real-time strategy to go into RPG for the online.
Yes, and not only did they do that, though, they took all the story. Like, you can go online. I've done it every now and then. It's like 2 hours or more. And people cut all, like, Warcraft cutscenes. And it starts with Warcraft 1 into Warcraft 2 into Warcraft 3.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And then it shoots into World of Warcraft because the story just keeps going. It's all the same story path. So, like, you could sit down and you can watch the history of Warcraft, like, through that. It's fun to do every now and then.
So World of Warcraft is not like a remake of all the old stuff. It's just a continuation, but in a different kind of genre.
Warcraft has great lore, too.
It's good lore. Yeah. It's fun. And they switch it up. They change it. Like, they don't hold true to everything they do. To down the road, sometimes they change things on the fly for whatever reason. But, overall, it's great lore.
Playing the first Warcraft, I remember that.
That was tough.
The archers were the best thing.
I remember playing that in high school because it was in the computer.
I felt like the archers were the best, most important part of that game because you could take the archers and line them up. I remember I used to do that.
Yeah.
Like they would, that was a good strategy. Back then it was simple strategy, but for that time it was like,
You build up towers, you put on archers, you move forward, you run back towards the towers. Mm-hmm. Then if you really want to bust through them, you got a shit ton of knights just slam in. So it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of cool things.
But yeah, I'm basically, RPGs are basically mine. I mean, listen, like I'm like you. Like I've played fighting games. I'm a big Mortal Kombat. I love Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter, obviously. I like first person sometimes. It all depends. Like Half-Life is one of my favorite games of all time. Half-Life 2 also, So it all depends, I guess. But what I mostly lean towards and what I read up more on is probably RPGs. Yeah.
I enjoyed back in the day when I used to cheese you with Street Fighter. I used to play on the PlayStation. And I would just sit there in the corner and just do low kick, low kick, low kick.
Like I'd get caught. I'm just screwing everyone up for some reason, the dumbest thing. Or he'd just keep spinning.
I would take Zangief at the same time you would or somebody else, and I would just keep spinning and spinning. And
you
could cheap a lot more in the original Street Fighter 2 and the older games than you can now, though. It's a lot harder now.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, you can still cheap now, but there's so much. Do you know what it is? The mechanics of the games, they've made ways you could kind of, if you're skilled enough, you could kind of go around that kind of stuff. But
it's funny going through that because I would always bring in Zangief, and like some people could give me a good fight, whatever. But like it was Jay from level 857. I remember him over there. He would do the same thing. He'd grab Zangief, and he'd be the only one that would really beat my ass. And it would be like some corny cheese play because no one plays Zangief. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'd just get wrecked. I was like, how is this possible?
You were the only one that played Zangief, really.
Like, played him well, but everyone else that played him against me, you just had to hit one button, and I was dead for some fucking reason. I couldn't do it.
You always played Zangief.
You always played the wrestlers.
You playing anybody.
You always played the wrestlers.
Like King and Tekken.
For Tekken,
That was fun, too.
That's right. Yeah, King.
I love all that stuff. The grabbing. I mean, a lot of people say grabbing is cheesy, whatever, but like some of the stuff you're doing is hard to do.
But the amount of buttons and stuff you have to do to just pull out that move and time it right is a lot harder than an Hadouken or anything like that.
And the combos I used to do in Tekken, where I had to put the control on my leg, and I was like
Zangief, you have to like time it because he does the move where he crouches down and he goes after you like this, but it's not a fast move, so you have to time it specifically right before you could. I think it takes more skill sometimes.
And the real good ones would be like when I got really good at it was like you go in and you do a fireball in my face, or you throw a punch or a kick or something, or if you were doing the spin kick into me, I'd wait to the last kick, I'd block, and that's when I would do the double rotation, turn into the super grab right when you land on your feet.
It takes skill. It's not easy.
Yeah, that's time.
Definitely King. I remember you have to go. I remember it's like circle 3, then to do the combo to keep going. It was like 3, half circle, full circle, 2, half circle, 3, circle. But you
had to be at the right
you would
timing.
pull it out, but you have to time it.
It was like timing.
But it looked awesome though.
Oh, when it was done,
you boom, he picks you back up again. He goes, there's another thing. Boom, he picks you up again.
And then you have the buster. You jump up.
Yeah.
I used to do it like crazy.
I'm remembering all this now. I'm picturing it back in my head now from back in the day.
I remember Gary when I went to college. The guys were going like, "Yo, let's see what you got, James." And I'd go into the dorm rooms and I'd be like, "All right, check this move I learned." And I did the one where you grab the guy and you just roll with King, and I would just keep rolling on the floor and you just watch the guy's health and just roll it and roll it and roll. It would be like one move. It was tough to do though, but I pulled that off. They're like, "Oh my god."
Oh yeah, I remember you. We used to play in the arcade Tekken in the bowling alleys. Is that what you said? The bowling alley used to have a Tekken.
There was that, but I played it in the dorm rooms too. But the bowling alley had a Tekken for sure. I don't know if there was a.
I missed that. That's another thing. Well, we talked about that last time, but
Nathan's.
Go
to Nathan's, just play all the crazy arcade games. No, it's not the same.
There used to be an arcade everywhere. There used to be an arcade machine everywhere. I mean, listen, we haven't really been in a bowling alley a lot lately, but I don't think there's arcade machines there anymore. But
maybe 1 or 2.
The funny thing is, though, the games that will come out for your system or your PC will just look better. So it's like, why even bother?
Well, nowadays, yeah, but
back in the day, the arcade games were so much better.
Oh yeah,
but you can still have fun. You go like Dave and Buster's or whatever it's called, and it's good for a date too. But
is it even still around?
Yeah,
I thought they closed down.
When?
Dave and Buster's.
How
I thought a couple years ago.
Well,
I think they were still open.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's been a while. I mean, I went out there with my last ex, but I couldn't tell you if they've closed since. I mean, it's been a few years, so.
I just like the sound. I always like the loud. It sounds weird, but I always like the loud noise of an arcade.
Oh yeah,
like
it's
you
fun.
Walk in, it's loud. You hear every game and
People.
all these ping noise, all these different things. It's just something about it. It's just,
the atmosphere is cool.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah.
It was great when I would go see my cousin out there. My uncle would take us to the mini golf spot, and it was mini golf and games, and they had the interior was all arcade games, And then outside in the back, they had, the mini golf courses. So you could go there. Usually we played mini golf first to, do one round. And then we would go inside and start, getting the change machine, getting all the quarters. And then we would just run around and play all the different games, like Terminator and, all the other games, Simpsons.
Those are fun ones, like Ninja Turtles, Simpsons.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles, X-Men,
Those are really cool ones.
Yeah.
I remember I played one arcade when they did it with the X-Men. I don't know if they were all supposed to be that way, but it was 2 arcade machines. I think it was like that.
It's like a combined thing?
They put them to the screen. You could see the split. Literally where the screens would meet up. It wasn't it, but the game smoothly went from one screen to the next.
Wow.
So it was one big X-Men. Was it X-Men or was it
was it like 2 players?
Might have been the Avengers.
Each person has their own screen kind of thing?
No, you'd play across the full screen.
Some games did that. Some games.
Oh, really?
They did have some cabinets that had the 2 screens.
It was just
for the big
playing
games
in a very big screen. You would run across the whole screen.
Really cool. But it had more than 2 players.
Oh yeah, like 4 people.
Yeah, like that one. I think it was 4 people, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think was it the Avengers? Like you had Vision, you'd fly up in the air and just like aim and shoot him, and then other characters. I know Vision was one. Maybe Hawkeye.
There had to be right there. Maybe there was an Avengers game. I don't remember.
I'm almost thinking that was it.
I'm sure there was.
Sounds familiar.
I'm sure there was.
And it was fun. It was double screen. It was pretty cool. What about you?
Mine mostly is first-person shooters, first-person and third-person shooters. I would say that sort of thing. I like the for me with the first-person shooters. I like the whole like being the character. That's how I get what I get out of it. It's like because you just see like the weapon or whatever in front of you and everything, but you're really running into everything, and it feels more immersive to me. For me at least, so personally, that's how I feel about it. Like I feel more like I'm into the character that way by doing that first person.
You're living it.
Yeah, you're right into it. You're right up in it. It's like Alien versus Predator on the PC back in the day. The very first one, I used to play that a lot. I love that game. It was a lot of fun, and that was a first person shooter from all 3 perspectives, because you could play as the Marine, you could play as the Predator, and you could play as the Alien.
I don't even know if I played that game.
And you had it was all first person perspective. And I remember that game, playing that game at night sometimes would scare the shit out of me, because you would be in a dark area and you could just hear the scattering of the face huggers on the floor, and it's like, fuck, where the fuck are they? Like, you can hear it, you can see it on the motion sensor that it's there, but it's like, the fuck is it, And then you'd be walking, and all of a sudden, it would fucking get you. And with the first-person view, it's right up on the screen, so you see the bottom of the face hugger in all detail too, right up in the screen. And so it's like, oh shit, like you would jump. Like for me, I would jump like all the time when that shit happened.
Now, what system was this on again?
PC.
Didn't they have a game on Jaguar similar to that? It was like a
might have. I know that they made
old school. They used to have. Because I just remember in Jaguar they used to have this one with the face hugger would come up on the screen. It would like get stuck on the screen.
I mean, they made Alien vs Predator for different systems.
You should look into what's the name of it? Alien. You know which one I'm talking about? The horror one that just came out.
Oh yeah, back. It's a first person. It's a multiplayer game.
Oh, Isolation.
Was that it?
No, I forgot the name of it, but I know what you mean. It's the same makers as the Jason game that Friday the 13th they made recently. I told you about that, right? It's the multiplayer where you play like one guy. It's randomized, so one guy when you load the game and you get into a group, they don't tell you who Friday Jason's going to be.
Yeah, I know.
And one guy becomes Jason, the other guy's the camp counselors, and they do stuff. Yeah. They have one for Predator. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's Alien in space.
Oh, it's Aliens. I thought you said Predator.
No, Aliens.
It's Alien Isolation.
It might have been Alien Isolation.
That's
where there's one alien running around.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Predator.
Yeah, that we have no weapons really. You have to scavenge for different things and such.
It gets like really dark. You have to have a flashlight.
Yeah, and you gotta distract the enemies and the alien, and you gotta hide whenever you hear them.
Did you play it?
I've played it, but not a whole lot though. I didn't play through it a lot. I know some people that have.
So what happened? Why'd you fall off of it?
Huh?
Why'd you fall off of it?
I just lost track. Just started playing other stuff.
But did you like it when you were playing it?
It's interesting. I mean, it's different because you have those other elements where you have to, find, and scavenge for everything, whereas there's other games where you just jump in there and you start getting your weapons and you start doing your thing. But with this one, you had to be a little bit more cautious, So it was a little bit tougher for me to not like be able to just run in and stuff, or like having an enemy that you can't really beat.
Yeah, because you're more on the defense running all the time.
Yeah, it's more of a defensive thing and just like, hiding and such. But
so it's more of a survival.
Yeah, it's a survival. It feels like a survival horror game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a horror scary type deal.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're running around and you hear it and you're like, you got to jump in like a locker or something like that, and you got to just like when your character is like, your character has to stay still, like you automatically instinctively like kind of
you're staying still,
stiffen up too a little bit. It's like, oh shit, it's gonna get me. And you can see it walking around and stuff. It's just
yeah, you get the whole like hold your breath moment.
Yeah, but like you do it in real life too.
Yep,
so that's again, that's another thing about first person games where it's like you are that character. It's like
that's really immersive.
You're definitely more of a single player. First person. You're not really Call of Duty guy or anything.
Yeah, no, the online stuff is just I'm not good enough for that stuff.
You were doing it on Unreal back in the day.
Well,
back in the day, yeah,
that's what got different. You going.
Unreal Tournament. Well, Unreal Tournament. It. Well, first Unreal, that started, and then Unreal Tournament. I was playing online with my father, and that was fun. We actually ranked a few times too, like in the top 20 in the world in that game, and that was a lot of fun. Playing online like that.
I just remember going on there and just rocket launches blowing me up.
Is there any games like that right now anymore? Like I
know
Call of Duty. Yeah, but that doesn't feel the same to me.
It feels a lot more. I don't know. It feels like a lot faster now.
I think Unreal Tournament ended. Unreal Tournament ended. Like I don't think they've made it. Yeah, but I don't think they've made a new game since
No, it's been a long time.
It's been like at least 5-6 years or some shit. Right?
It's been a long time, since they made a new one. But you can play the original one if you download it. There are servers up. I've gone on there a few times and looked at it.
You know which game I tried very briefly that's similar to it? It's a little bit more hectic because it's Doom multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. I need to play the new Doom.
Oh, it's really good. You should play it.
I know. Definitely, I should pick it up.
You can play it on your PC. I think your PC,
yeah, for sure.
It might smoke a little bit, but
nah, no smoke on mine.
But no, I tried the multiplayer. It's a little it's hot. Well, Unreal Tournament was pretty fast paced, but this game's a lot more faster because Doom's meant to just be a very fast paced kind of game. But you should try that though. See if you like it. I mean, it's similar to Unreal Tournament, kinda.
Yeah.
But it's just nothing ever felt the same.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean,
I'm more like I said. Most of that stuff, I'm just more into the old school stuff.
But if you go right
now, what's the first person shooter that I've really played?
Borderlands?
Recently is probably
Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands. Yeah, Borderlands. The Borderlands is a lot of fun.
It's been a while since I played that.
That's a game that I enjoyed quite a bit. I know you enjoyed it quite a bit playing that game,
dude. I just love when I first turned that game. I'm like, all right, let's see this thing, and just like Cage the Elephant. They play the song and everything, and I was just the whole trailer. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
The whole intro. they get you right from the beginning.
I just love the graphics, too. I like the cell shading and stuff like that. Everything's cool about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that was
and they got a lot of guns.
Game.
That game is good for loot. That game was they had unlimited amount of guns. Like you can't even, I feel like you never find the same gun more than once. You know what I mean?
There was a lot of different things on there. That was a good game.
Yeah. I enjoyed our all-nighters with Cromarax,
Cromarax.
Cheesing him.
Trying to fight him regular was impossible, man. Crazy.
Well, I think Borderlands 2, they have Son of Cromarax is in there.
They had 2 special bosses, I believe.
He's one of them. It's in there, and then there's another one that I tried to solo, but I just
wasn't happening.
So there's certain bosses you can't solo. It's impossible.
Yeah, they're more like you gotta raid with somebody.
Do a group
to go after those guys,
which is cool, Yeah. Gives that World of Warcraft feel. You want this gear? Well, you got to team up and do it with people.
Yeah.
I didn't play the last one,
but an arena, an arena-based multiplayer. There's really nothing out there. I mean, there probably is, but maybe we just don't know about it.
Yeah.
That's like Unreal Tournament, simple, arena-based. It wasn't huge boards. It wasn't, but it was enough to have fun playing. What was it like? How many guys were in Unreal Tournament? 10? Max?
In a match?
Yeah. It was like 10?
No, it was
more.
I
It
think
was more than that?
you could do more than that. I think you could do like 20-something people.
Remember the skins?
Oh, yeah.
You used to have the like Wolverine skin.
Oh,
and all those. I had the crow skin, but the only way you could get the crow skin,
if the server had it already.
the server has it, or you have to have it. Like
Yeah.
it was just me and you
If it
playing.
was just us, yeah.
But they used to have like different skins. It was funny.
I remember. You know, what was really funny was us trying to figure out, man, how those guys do those flips? How do they do those flips in the game?
Oh my god, that's stupid.
It's so stupid. We were doing them the whole time. We just had no idea.
It was just the animation when you jump.
Yeah, because when you're first person shooter, obviously it's not going to like flip.
It doesn't flip
The screen. A bunch of idiots that we are. We're like, yo, how are these guys doing these flips? And we went into like some practice mode of some kind, and we just did it. And we're like,
Great.
I see you flipping. You're jumping. What'd you do?
Yo, how'd you flip, Dave? I'm flipping. What do you mean? I'm just pressing spacebar. What the hell?
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, I mean, first-person shooters are definitely, definitely my favorite. I mean, Unreal started me with that. Unreal Tournament, GoldenEye, and then the PC games. So many PC games were first-person. Doom, Duke Nukem, all those games. I just had so much fun with them. And, again, that immersiveness of being kind of like being that character. And third-person ones, third persons are fun too, but the first person I think is, for me, it's number one.
All right.